At the time I joined, my husband had left me and I'd lost my job, suddenly leaving me a single, unemployed mother who could barely support her daughter. That's when Tokimasa found me and told me that a society that stigmatized and shunned me was a fiction, a great machine to be fought, and that my very soul was at stake. Of course, he used me as he did everyone else. I desperately wanted to hear that my struggles weren't my fault. They stole everything from me, my youth, my mind, then my child. And then one day in 1996 they all died. The cause of death was buried, and no autopsies were performed. Or if they were hidden. Why? That's simple. The governments didn't care about some dead cultists in the wood and covered it up so the papers wouldn't sensationalize their deaths. That's it. After everything I found, you expect me to believe that? 12 people died that day, and no one knows why. It's a rather small cult, I think. What happened? Tell me the truth. I guess not everyone was there at the time or something, because 12 people isn't enough for a cult, is it? Is it? You want to know what happened so badly? Fine, I'll tell you. They died for nothing, following in the footsteps of a madman who believed that life was an illusion. As words of other compounds and other groups being raided spread, Tokimasa began warning us that the end was near. He believed the world was collapsing and it was time for him and his followers to abandon the flesh and find purity among the gods. My Emiko, she didn't die from some conspiracy. She chose death because she no longer had an anchor to reality, and it was my fault. How did you snap out of it? How did you do that? Because you saved your grandchildren, but I guess you could have also saved your daughter and her husband? That's just me, though. Beyond that, I don't know what happened to them. No, you do know something. In the report it says after the officers cleared the bodies they found the mask. The same one you handed to me 6 months ago. Yeah, I got you now, bitch. Dun dun dun. That's... Tokimasa would always keep it to himself, saying it granted him sight into the realm of the kami. I needed it. You don't understand. It allowed us to see strange things and people who are gone. The guru was a fool, a fake, but the mask was real. There was a rumor that the cult members were killed by one of their own. Surely you didn't... No, you don't understand. I would never kill my own child. I didn't take the mask, it was given to me. Yeah? One day, a man, some journalist or other, showed up at my door carrying the mask. I couldn't believe it. I begged him for it, and he stood there smiling at me. His eyes were like none I had ever seen. Oh god, I hope we meet this guy. It was strange. All he wanted in exchange for the mask was a picture of Emiko. Fuck me, it was the fucking collector, right? That's his MO, alright. God damn it. I don't want to meet him again. When I joined the cult, I was forced to give up my possessions and only had one left. But I gave it to him nevertheless. It's the collector. Yep. I thought if I had the mask that I could find her, that maybe she would forgive me. As soon as I had it in my hands, my mind opened. I could hear her voice. So you went into the sewers chasing after her, thinking you could save her. Takashi told you that as well, did she? Yes, that's true. Emiko was crying out to me, begging me to find her and free her from a dark place. I would have given anything to hold her in my arms again and plead her forgiveness. I don't care if you don't believe me. Just like Tanaka was calling out to me. But... yeah, sure, I had the mask. No, did I have the mask at this point? It's kind of hard to remember. I got the mask earlier when we saw Reina threatening Mai, right? And then I passed out. I guess they took the mask away from me because I asked about where's the mask, where's the mask? And then a few weeks later, or months maybe? Probably months. Yeah, sure, if this was all 2 weeks ago. I found Tanaka getting killed, but I didn't have the mask then. Oh man, I don't know. It's all a mystery to me at this point. Oh god, I'm sorry. I do believe you. We're probably some of the few people left alive who know what this mask is capable of. Yeah. You, Mai's grandmother, the collector, the old historian, Takashi, Reina, even though she's probably undead. Man, that's 7 people. That's a lot. That's almost as much as there were people in this cult. If you really thought it would help you find her, then why'd you give it to me? Because I was wrong. At first, I only followed whispers. Then I found myself in a strange labyrinth, chasing after her shade. The days bled together. I lost track of my grandchildren, of the shrine. It was an illusion. No matter how hard I tried, I never found her. I only became more and more disconnected from the world around me. I descended into madness. That's why I wanted you to suffer the same fate. Because I'm a bitch. I was being used again, just as Tokimasa had used me so many years before. I tried getting rid of it, throwing it away, burning it, none of it mattered. It always came back. And when I did, the visions and whispers only got worse. So it's like the Stand in sorry to say, but in Yo-Yo's Bizarre Adventure, right? In the newest part, the money stand. Not to spoil anything here, but it's a really good chapter to read. You should do it. And when I did, the visions and whispers only got worse. So I put it out of my mind and tried as best I could to live a life of solitude and ignore the screams of my daughter. That's fucked up. Then you came. And when you did, the mask was screaming out at voices I'd never heard before. I thought it was a sign, so I gave it to you. I didn't even have time to breathe out a sigh of relief before I heard a gunshot ring out. No one else ran to it. I think I was the only one who knew that sound for what it was. I thought the mask was punishing me once again by taking Mai away from me. Instead, it had passed tragedy to one another. I'm sorry, perhaps the knowledge of the mask should die with us. There's one other person who knows about the mask. A girl named Reina. There are more persons, but okay. Does that name mean anything to you? I asked her before, right? I must have. No, I don't know anybody by that name. I'm sorry, I kinda lost her voice here, but it's really hard to do the fucking old woman voice. Do you expect me to know everyone who's been touched by the mask? No, but you were involved with a group that worshipped it. Are you sure you're telling me everything? Yes, what good will accusing an old woman do? Unless you're chasing someone too. That must be it. Mai told me you lost someone, your partner in the police, is that right? If I'm right, then I suggest you stop your search. The place I was shown by the mask was not meant for the living. I barely escaped with my life. Stop while your mind and body remain intact. What if I told you there was another option? What other option? In the months since I first met you, I've had time to examine the ancient texts in this shrine. Well. Wow. You hadn't done this before. You were living here for how many years? And as the mask grew further away, it loosened its grip on my mind. Okay, I can see it now. You got clearer in the head, I guess. I knew then it would someday make its way back to me, and so I became determined to find a way to protect myself and my grandchildren from its influence. The darkness of the Kamenkai and its ritual object are but manipulations used to sever our connection with what is truly divine. The mask breeds darkness. Dark forces can invade all manner of living and non-living things, driving them to violence or death. That which is evil cannot be used or tolerated. It must be destroyed. It is the only way to save us from its grip. Destroy the mask? I thought you just said it couldn't be done. Not physically. Grandma, is everything alright? Are you telling me you're done with dinner, Mai, or are you just eavesdropping? I overheard you talking about that mask again. What the fuck do you think else we should or could be talking about, Mai? Yes, dear, but you needn't worry. In fact, it's good you're here, as this talk involves you. Oh. Mai, you've trained in exorcism and purification rituals for quite some time, haven't you? Such a ritual could purify the mask and turn it into a mere piece of wood, given we gather the right materials, of course. I can tell from the look in your eyes that you think me to be senile, but I'm quite serious. Even modern rituals have ancient roots, and with enough conviction, they are still capable of great power. Before, I was content to die as long as the mask didn't hurt my children, as I was too feeble to do what was necessary myself. But now seeing you here, I see a second chance to do what is right. If you truly do know what the mask is, then you must help me destroy it. Slow down. I didn't come here to be involved in a ritual or exorcism or whatever you call it. I only want the truth about the Kamenkai, which you still haven't given me. You're a stubborn one, aren't you? So be it. I can see there's only one way to change your mind. The only trace of what happened that day would be at the Kamenkai compound itself. The records of its location are lost and they were never made public, but I know where it is. Nice. What's the catch? Go there, search for your truth, see what worshipping the mask has wrought. When you return, you'll help me destroy it. What makes you so confident I'll change my mind? I went back once, years ago. In all honesty, I'm not sure why. Perhaps to remind myself of my sins. What I saw and felt in that place, it was tainted by darkness and death. Those two things are all the mask will afford you. There's something else. I had a feeling you'd say that. The heavy, unnatural air I felt when I returned to the compound. It had the same stench, the same quality of the tunnels where I searched for Emiko. Sounds like a superstition to me. So, what exactly is it you want in exchange for the information? I love Ito, she's always so down to earth. I believe the energies of the mask and that place are linked. I want you to bring something back from there, anything. It may help in the ritual. Looking for the truth will not bring you peace, detective. Purifying the mask very well might. Remember that. The compound is in the forest of Aokigahara. Aokigahara? Hey, that's the suicide forest. Man, I'm missing out on some sweet SEO here, I think. If I had recorded this just 2 weeks earlier. No, oh god. Let's not start on the whole fucking Suicide Forest thing. Jesus Christ. Suicide Forest. What a dreadful name. Though I suppose those woods have seen their fair share of tragedy. And death. Ito, you can't just go charging in there. It's dangerous. What if you got lost? GPS doesn't work in there, and I heard even compasses won't point north. Not only that, but, well, a lot of people go there to die. I don't think you should go. Man, if you're worried about me seeing a corpse, I did so earlier. You two keep talking about that mask like it's some evil spirit causing you pain, but I think the pain you're feeling isn't caused by a mask. It's just you. How about you carry it for a month or something? So many nights after the girl died in the shrine, I had nightmares. Every corner I went around, I thought I'd see her there. Hey Mai, maybe you can tell me. Was there a fucking corpse there? And who took it? Because if she really is or was dead, there has to be a corpse, right? It wasn't a ritual or a charm that made me better though. I just stopped listening to the fear. I confronted it. When you took me to see Takashi, that was the first time I'd left Kamakura since April. It's embarrassing to admit it, but I was scared. And yeah, Takashi telling me all that stuff about mom and dad was scary, but it was the truth. I wasn't hiding from some demon I'd invented myself. Anyway, I know you might not listen to me, but I don't think you should put yourself in danger just so you can keep chasing your demons. Maybe you're right, but some demons have a way of spreading to others. Seeing the Kamenkai compound is something I have to do. Well, it's your choice, but Aokigahara is huge. How are you going to find one compound? Mai makes a good point. It's been a long time. Are you sure you remember where it is? Of course I do. I know what you two must think of me, but I'm not senile. It's a hike away from a bus stop on the outskirts of Narusawa. We used to go into town occasionally for supplies. Several miles away from the bus stop there's a clearing and a path there used time to time by the Forest Service. I'll draw you a map before you leave. Oh, thank you. It continues for quite some time and eventually it will be blocked off. Keep going forward and don't turn back or leave the path. The forest can play tricks on you. Supposing the path is still there, it seems pretty incredible to me that the compound would have been left alone all these years. It still stands. After all, why would they bother to go and dismantle it? Go. Search for whatever truth you think you'll find. But be careful, detective. Do what must be done, then leave. Staying there is dangerous. I hope that once you enter that place and feel the energy I did, you'll have the sense to see what I never could. You understand, don't you? The mask must be purified. Tanaka comes first, I understand. It depends on what I find. Don't be a fool. Finding what happened that day will change nothing. I'll search for my truth, old Kavana woman. You're being haunted by your past, chasing phantoms as I once did. When you enter those dark places, you leave pieces behind. Purified, stop this while you're still whole. I begin preparations for the ceremony regardless. Mai, see her out. Okay. I mean, she's never said anything like that to me. You must have really scared her. What, see her out? Listen, I'll help with this ritual because I think it will help Grandma get better. But don't get yourself killed. I know in your eyes I'm probably just a kid, but I know how much it hurts to want the truth. Takashi obsessed over the past, and I was miserable not knowing. Grandma almost went insane on top of that. Grandma said it herself, you're still young. You should forget about all this and start over. And you might not want to hear this, but listening to you two talk about masks and spirits, well, you sounded like that girl at a shrine. It scares me, and it should scare you too. Take care of yourself, Ito. Thank you, Mai. But I'll do what has to be done. I am Ito. Police detective. Info. Aokigahara, better known as the Suicide Forest. Despite its nickname, the volcanic earth it grows on makes the forest beautiful and green. Every year, however, large numbers of people wander in, intending to be their final resting place. Occasionally, authorities have to comb through it for new bodies. Oh god. The fact that it's really like that is really fucking fucked up. Let's just put it like that. No doubt about it, this is the path the old Kavana woman was talking about. Better proceed cautiously. It looks like I could easily lose my way in this overgrowth. The path wasn't so hard to find. It's a miracle no one stumbled on the compound before, even by accident. No time to think of that now. I have to keep moving. I don't even want to imagine getting lost in here at night. Okay. It doesn't look as beautiful and green as she advertised it. I have to say. I imagined it greener? Come on. Keep going. Oh, is this one of these things? I think it will be the same screen over and over again. No? Oh no. Look. 3 statues covered in moss and undergrowth. It looks like one is missing. Ochiso-sama. A depiction of Ochiso-sama. It's said that praying to these statues can help guide the souls of children who died young. They look so old and forgotten. It's kind of sad It's kind of sad to see them abandoned like this, I guess. How could these statues help anyone out in such a dark place? I guess I'll have to look for the missing one. Keep going. Maybe I don't have to? Is this the... Hey, Reina. Yeah, good day to you too. Reina? What is she doing here? Huh? Where am I? No, anywhere but here. I don't want to remember this. Why now? Ito, why did you come here? You've left me here to die again, haven't you? It was your fault that this happened to me. You're so selfish. You never care about what happens to anyone but yourself. People who get hurt along the way are just collateral damage. It's all about you and what you want. You. You're not looking for me. You only want to hurt the girl, to hurt the old woman, to see everyone who gets in your way suffer. No, that's not true. I would have done anything to change what happened to you. Make it go away. I can't bear to look anymore. Stop. Make it stop. I don't want to remember. What a great idea. Remembering hurts, doesn't it? Let me take away all that pain. Let's forget together, Ayami-chan. There's no countdown, but what happens if the screen gets filled up by this let's forget together? I can't move. Will it even get filled up? Yeah, it's getting thicker, I think. It's getting wider. So I really like things like this, you know, taking you out of your... I don't know how to put it. Taking you out of your usual experience. Not necessarily fourth wall breaking, but something making you think, oh, that's weird, that's not usual, that's kind of crazy. And as you all know, I like crazy protagonists. I like games about weird themes, games about bad themes, let's put it like that. Games about mental illnesses and stuff. Man, it's taking a while, right? I wonder what will happen. I guess nothing will happen at all. I'll have to press let's forget together on someone. And let's think about this. He said, you only care about yourself, or catching Raina or something. You never care about me. So maybe I'm putting too much trust. I think it stopped. It stopped the text. Anyway, maybe I'm putting too much thought and trust into this game, but maybe depending on who I click on, even though it's the same choice, something will change. So let's click on Tanaka to show him that we're not selfish. We're forgetting with him. And I'm back here. Keep going. So this has to be the screen. Oh, pardon me. I had to yawn here. This has to be the screen with the Oshisho-sama statues. No, that is the missing one. An Ojiso-sama statue. I feel a familiar presence as I pick it up. Maybe it will guide me. Maybe it will help me, even though I'm not a child, but... Keep going. Okay. The sound... What? No, it can't be again? If I wake up in my apartment again, I will be not happy, Ito. I mean, we've seen this before. I've used this as a thumbnail already. Guess this gives me an excuse to use it again, but why is she dreaming?